Join me today as we talk about why we celebrate Memorial Day. Now, I'm not going to do a video intro that I normally do with my logo. I'm going to go right into this video. So if you're scrolling through this is about 10 minutes long, but it's what Memorial Day means to me. So I hope you stick around and watch it. I would really appreciate it. Thank you. Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. I hope everybody is enjoying their barbecues and their boatings and their pool parties today, celebrating Memorial Day. But I really hope you take about 30 seconds of your day or in the evening and think about those that pay the ultimate sacrifice in the service of this nation. Now, there are those that died over there, were killed in combat, killed in action, got hurt or killed while they were in service of the country. Some that came home and had to deal with those injuries internally and eventually didn't make it. So let's remember all of those individuals that paid the ultimate price for our country. So whether you know somebody that died in the service of this country, or was it a family member that didn't make it back, there's always time that you can take out to give thoughts and thanks to all of those people. Because from the beginning of this country to most recently, people have died and never made it back. And today is the day we think about them. Today is not the day where you're a veteran and you put your profile picture up there and think about the service that you made. That's what Veteran Day is for. Today is for all those other ones, those honor flights that came back and all those videos that you're seeing online through its social media of those flights that bring those deceased military members back to this country. It gets me every time. And every time I see those videos, I watch the entire thing. I let it play. I don't flip it. I don't scroll. I let it play. That's the least that I can do for each of those individuals that didn't make it home. Today's a day that I always take a little bit extra time to remember a friend of mine. Now, some of us had a lot of battle buddies that died, some Marines, everybody that served probably knows somebody that didn't make it back. And I remember when I was got my orders to go to Afghanistan, I was home for a couple of days before I had to leave again after I did my primo, and I came home for a few days. And then we got a blast email from the officer basic course class that I was with. And they informed us that First Lieutenant Noah Harris was killed in action in Burat, Iraq, June 17th, 2005. And he died on the 18th. He was with another soldier, Corporal William Long, that also was killed in the vehicle. Now, William Long was 26. Lieutenant Harris was 23. I first met Lieutenant Harris at Infantry Officer Basic Course around 2003, 2004 at Fort Benning. He had just recently graduated from the University of Georgia, and I had just got my commission earlier that summer through OCS. And we were in Officer Basic Course, kind of getting our infantry school taken care of. Now, I was prior service, and Noah was ROTC, and great kid. I was a little older. I was about 28 at the time. He was about 21, 22. And I was a little bit older than some of the guys in my platoon. A couple of guys were my age that were also prior service. But I was probably older than most of the guys in that group. And his room was right around the corner from mine. It took about 30 seconds to get to his room. But we just kind of hit it off. He was in my squad. I think we were right next to each other. He was just a great guy. Had a great sense of humor, a warm heart, and he had really great stories. And he was funny. We're both jokesters, and he was really funny. And it was me, him, and another guy named Lathy that we used to hang out together. Lathy just retired about 3 weeks ago as a lieutenant colonel from the United States Army. Served about 24 years. So, Lathy, congratulations on that. But there's three of us used to hang out at night. Now, in Infantry Officer Basic School, you either are out in the field or you're in garrison doing class work and weapon stuff and all that. On the weeks that we were in garrison, we would go out. Friday night, Saturday night, we'd go hit the town, hit the nudie bars like normally, hit a couple of bars, hit the movies, just kind of blow off some steam. It was almost too far to me to go home. And, it was kind of a pain in the ass. You had to get a Liberty Pass or to go home to visit your family. So we usually just stuck around and just hung out with each other. And it got to the point where I started cutting his hair because he noticed that I cut my hair in my own room. I didn't feel like going to the post barber shop. So I would cut my own hair in the room. I had a pair of clippers. And I was pretty good at it. And he asked me if I'd start cutting his hair. So I started cutting Noah's hair about every 10 days to 14 days, every 2 weeks. I'd give him a haircut. So the time I was there until we left, I'd give him a fresh, high and tight with my clippers. So we became good friends. Now, Noah was a state championship wrestler from LJ, Georgia. He was also the captain of his football team. And he was also a University of Georgia cheerleader, which I thought that was the coolest thing. I never met any dudes that were a cheerleader before. I know you saw him in college, but I had never met one before. And I guess the story he told me was when he went to University of Georgia, he wasn't, I think he wanted to play football, but he kind of got discouraged or didn't think he was big enough, but was approached by some of the female cheerleaders about joining the squad. So he tried out and he made it. And he had some great male cheerleading stories. And you can imagine what it was like being a straight male cheerleader in the University of Georgia. He did very well. And I can't say some of the stories he told me, but let's just say, use your imagination, they were probably pretty good. And he was a great dude. I remember one of the stories, we went to the movies. Us three guys went out. And it was, I don't know, it was Saturday night. I don't even remember what movie we went to go see, but I remember we went to the Class 6, got some little vodka bottles, whatever, rum bottles, put them in our sodas at the movie theater. And I just remember leaving the movie theater and we were all shit-faced. We all would walk back to our dorms, but we were all shit-faced. And that's the first time I ever done that. It took me to my late 20s to get drunk in a movie theater with small liquor bottles. That's kind of fun we had back then. And he was a really good guy. We'd go to the officers club and have lunch or dinner together. Just got really close. And then when, social media wasn't around back then. So when we all graduated and we got our assignments and he went off to serve his unit, kind of lost touch. But it wasn't very long until I found out he was killed. And that threw me for a big loop because I was about to get deployed. And it made what I was about to do very, very real. Because they had a couple of other guys from that platoon that were injured, but he's the only one, I believe, that was killed. So a few days before I was about to go to Afghanistan, a buddy of mine was killed in action. That made it even more realistic for me that anything can happen in combat. Now, there are a lot of people that served this country that lost a lot more people than I did. And I think about those guys as well that came back and lost their buddies. And it's tragic. And just remembering that these guys joined up because they really wanted to and never made it home. Noah was 23 years old. The guy that was with him was 26. And their parents, the last 20 years, never had a birthday with him. Never got to see him get married. Never got to see him have any grandchildren. And that's what it affects. It's a whole line of a family member. Things that you will never, ever get to have. So it's awkward when people know I was in the military and they know I'm a veteran and they always say, thank you for your service. I don't know how you act or how do you feel when someone says that, thank you for your service, but I feel really weird about it. I don't know what to say. Sometimes I say it's an honor to serve. Sometimes I say thank you, but it always weirds me out when somebody says that because I don't really expect it. I don't expect a thank you. I did it because I really wanted to do it. It was something inside that I wanted to serve this country. So when somebody says thank you for your service, it's just a little strange for me because I don't need to be thanked for it. I really wanted to do it. So today, let's remember all those people that didn't make it back, like Noah. Noah was a great dude. When we had in IOBC, when we would have grappling, they hand-to-hand kind of wrestling stuff, grappling is like UFC stuff. So we'd have grappling classes and, Noah being a state champion wrestler, he obviously took to it very well. So towards the end of the officer basic course, we had competition against the other platoons. Needless to say, Noah kicked everybody's ass. It wasn't even close. It was embarrassing. I think we won the heavyweight, middleweight, and lightweight out of all the other guys. We had a couple other guys that were badasses too. But Noah just tossed the dude around like a wet rag. Now, he was obviously probably a little more wrestling stuff than grappling, but he kicked everybody's ass. It was pretty cool to see. And I was so proud of that guy. I think we went out and had dinner afterwards laughing about it. But I missed that guy. I wish I knew him. I wish I knew him to this day. There's a few buddies from that platoon that I still keep in touch with. They're friends on Facebook. We text each other every now and then. Once a year, we have a group photo where we all take that group photo and look at it and post each other and comment on it. Probably at least once a year, I get it pop up in my timeline and somebody talks about it. He's a guy that's missed. And I will never forget that guy as long as I live, like many of you won't. So today, take 30 seconds and remember those that paid the ultimate sacrifice for our freedoms. Thank you, each and every one of you, and especially the family members that are sitting home today thinking about their loved ones that aren't there to have that barbecue with them, aren't there to sit on that boat, aren't there and swimming in the pool because they no longer are with us. But their memories will never die. And I've told my children about Noah. I've told my friends about Noah. And I tell everybody I talk to how much that guy meant to me and he meant to our country. Never, ever, ever let anyone forget. God bless you. God bless the men and women of our military. God bless America. And never forget. Thank you.